potato chip, Light is under constant surveillance. Elle has cameras and microphones, watching his room night and day. The police believe the footage will catch Kira in the act. Light knows that. He also knows that the one thing that would prove innocence, a criminal, dying on live TV while he is plainly on camera studying, would destroy Elle's case, so he decides to manufacture exactly that impossible image. First, the prep. Earlier that day, Light leaves the house when he learns about the wiretaps. He buys a tiny battery-powered LCD and a bag of chips in a flavor his family never touches. Off camera, he opens the sealed bag, hides the screen and a small scrap of paper inside, and reseals it so it looks untouched on the shelf. He chose the bag and timing so no one in the house would open it before he needed it. This is the hidden work nobody sees on the monitors. Ryuk, who can see and knows the room's layout, tells Light where the cameras can't see perfectly. Light maps the sightlines, places the bag where the feed will show only him studying, and times everything to a news delay he's counted on. When the live bulletin cuts to a suspect's name, Light leans over his textbook with his right hand in full view. That's the show. With his left hand hidden in the bag's dark interior, Light pulls out the tiny screen, reads the name on the broadcast, writes it on the scrap, and tucks it away. On camera, he looks like any student snacking while doing problems. Then he closes the bag, raises a chip, and with dramatic timing says the line that became a meme. "I'll take a potato chip and eat it." He crunches the chip on camera. Seconds later, the broadcast shows the person collapsing. Two facts now sit side by side on Elle's monitors. Light is visibly at his desk, and a criminal just died on live TV. They shouldn't be able to happen together, but Light made them. Afterwards, he tosses the bag in the trash. The bag and the screen are crushed in the garbage truck later. The perfect erase. The task force and public see the clean alibi. Elle is impressed and suspicious, but he cannot prove the hidden moments he never filmed. The scene is small and absurd on the surface, a snack and a line, but it's a surgical, three-part trick. Preparation off camera, timing with blind spots and broadcasts, and a performance that converts impossibility into public belief. That is how Light turned surveillance into theater and survived another day. Ray Penber. The FBI arrives in Tokyo to help Elle. 12 agents are flown in. One of them, Ray Penber, is assigned to tail Light Yagami 24/7, close enough to spot a twitch. Ray follows Light for days, watching him leave the house, see his father, attend school. He engineers a public panic to force Ray's hand. He writes the name Kichiro Osureda in the death note and scripts the man's actions. Osureda boards a bus, waves a gun, freaks out. Amid the chaos, Ryuk appears, only to Osureda frightening him into running into traffic where he dies. The aftermath is what Light wanted, a frightened tail who needs to identify himself to calm a scene. Ray shows Light his badge. Light finally has the name he needed. That small human slip, an agent overconfident enough to flash ID, becomes Light's entry point. Now Light plays the long con. He convinces Ray, posing as a Kira collaborator, calm and clinical, to follow instructions that look like cooperation. Light hands Ray envelopes and tells him to retrieve a file and use his laptop to pull up the FBI roster. Under Light's direction, Ray copies the names of every FBI agent working on the Kira case onto forms. Unknowingly, those names are written on pages taken from the death note. Once Ray carries those names into the system, the plan flips. Every agent who receives the file dies of sudden heart attacks, one after another, across Japan. Light has turned one tail into an accidental executioner of his own colleagues. After Ray completes the steps Light set, Light writes Ray Penber's name in his own notebook and kills him too. Ray collapses on a platform and in his last second sees Light's face. Realization and horror arrive together. The FBI presence in Japan collapses. The foreign task force withdraws. Elle is left with fewer allies and a new mystery. How did an agent with access to all those names become the instrument of their deaths? The ripple is huge. Ray's death removes a major trail and triggers Naomi Masora's desperate investigation, setting off two more tragedies Light will exploit. Guys, before we continue, if you are enjoying this video, it would be appreciated if you subscribe to the channel. It's free and you can always change your mind later. Now back to the video. Naomi Masora. Naomi Masora arrives in Tokyo driven by grief and skill. An ex-FBI agent recently engaged to Ray Penber, she refuses to accept his sudden death as coincidence and begins her own quiet investigation. Naomi is clever and cautious. She uses a false name, Shoko Maki, to protect herself while she probes leads and talks to people who were on the bus that night. That caution is exactly why she's dangerous to Light. She isn't a random civilian, she's trained, stubborn, and getting closer. Light meets her the way he meets every threat, with a smile and a setup. He leans on his father's badge and his calm, helpful manner to win trust. Naomi tests him. Light tests her. She gives him a driver's license to verify identity, still hiding her real name behind the Shokomaki alias. Light watches, calculates, and then makes the move everyone hates to admit. He writes Shokomaki into a scrap of the death note, specifying a cause so the death will look like suicide and the body won't be found. For a brutal 40 seconds, he waits to see the effect, and nothing happens. The name is an alias. That tiny failure is a clue. Now the real trap begins. Light coaxes Naomi into revealing who she really is by pretending to be an ally. Gentle prods about procedure, offers to help contact her fiancé's offices, and false cooperation that lowers her guard. Naomi's training makes her careful, but Light is patient and precise. She eventually reveals her true name, Naomi Masora, handing him the key he needs. He doesn't hesitate. He writes her actual name in the death note and scripts the death down with surgical cruelty. Thinks of the best way to commit suicide that won't bother others and will make it so her body isn't discovered. Ryuk laughs. Light thinks about making sure her body can't be traced back. Naomi vanishes. There's no corpse to bury, no neat investigation to close, only a missing woman and a hypothesis that she killed herself in a way guaranteed to leave no trace. To the task force, she becomes a blind spot, a serious investigator who disappeared before she could hand over what she knew. To Light, she's both problem solved and a warning, a talented opponent neutralized by turning her own trust and process against her. The scene is small and intimate, but its logic is vicious. Light didn't just kill Naomi, he engineered a death that erased the evidence she might have left behind, and in doing so, removed one of the few people who could have exposed him. Master plan. He builds the perfect loop, a plan that uses memory loss as camouflage, a corporate handoff as bait, and a tiny hidden pin as the final kill switch. The goal is simple but ruthless. Lose the death note and his memories on purpose. Let someone else become Kira so the notebook resurfaces. Touch that notebook to get his memories back, then remove the new owner and take control again. Every step is pre-calculated. Step 1. Create believable innocence. L's surveillance is closing in, so Light stages cooperation. He and Misa relinquish ownership of their death notes, so both lose all memory of being Kira. To everyone watching, it looks like surrender. To Light, it looks like disguise. With his memories gone, he is the last person anyone would suspect, the ultimate inside man. He stays under confinement, studies case files alongside the task force, and quietly learns their procedures and blind spots. That access is the trade, freedom later in exchange for a short-term erasure now. Step 2. Seed the world with a new Kira. Light does not leave the notebooks to chance. He arranges for the death note Misa had been using, the one Rem was guarding, to be passed into human hands, specifically into the orbit of the Yotsuba group, so a greedy corporate executive will become the next Kira. In the show, Rem eventually gives that death note to Kyosuke Higuchi, and the Yotsuba killings begin. That public resurgence of Kira proves the effect still exists and sets up the exact scenario. Light needs the notebook in play, available to be touched. Step 3. Play the innocent and hunt. While memoryless, he assists L, narrowing suspects until the task force identifies Higuchi as the Yotsuba Kira. When Higuchi is finally arrested and the death note is in police custody, Light gets physical access during evidence handling. He touches the book, and the rule is immediate and brutal. Touching a death note you once owned restores all memories tied to it. Light's past floods back. He is not the helpless student anymore, he is the architect reawakened. Step 5. End the loop. With memory return, Light uses the scrap from his watch and the pin to write Kyosuke Higuchi's real name in blood at the precise moment of custody or transit. Higuchi dies. Ownership reverts, and Light regains legal possession of a death note. The mission is complete. He used surrender to deflect suspicion, engineered the notebook's transfer into criminal hands, timed his touch to recover memory, and executed the kill that made him the only plausible Kira again. The task force believes the Yotsuba case solved. Light steps back into the spotlight with his secret intact and his power restored.